Hi, it's Andrew Abersold with Meteora, and today I want to talk about what is your business doing to change the situation you're in, to adapt to the situation you're in. So I'm calling this, what is your creative pivot? I was having a conversation with a client this week, and they were asking me, hey, we can't keep on our business as usual. It's been interrupted. We're not able to service our customers in the same way. We have restrictions in place. What can we do? And they had seen one of my previous videos. They'd seen some of our emails, read our blogs. They knew that they needed to market to stay ahead of the game, to stay on top of the list. They knew that they wanted to be the company that was number one when people were ready to use their services again. But they weren't sure what to do between now and then. They had a budget in place previously for some of the services that we provide, but they didn't really have any type of a budget for this contingency plan. Obviously, people may have been spending money on sales that they can't really do right now. They can't do the traditional sales. We've talked about that. Those options aren't really available. You need leads to close, and they want to use marketing to close the leads, but they're not even really sure what they can close on right now because of this disruption. So that's where I get back to, what is your creative pivot? What are you going to do to adapt to this situation? I'll give you an example. These are pretty obvious. You've seen them in the marketplace. Restaurants, they adapted. They started doing takeout and curbside, and in a lot of states, they've allowed them to even do alcohol beverages to go, which is kind of a new thing. And many of them are making it work. I'm sure it's not easy, but had they not done that, what's the alternative? Another one that I can think of, if I can think of one, would be the distilleries. Distilleries have pivoted. They're making hand sanitizer that people need right now, while obviously simultaneously making booze, because alcohol sales are still allowed in most states. And with as many people sitting at home, probably bored, not sure what to do, I'm sure there's a fair amount of drinking happening too. So those are two that we've all seen happen. But you're probably saying, well, I don't do either of those two things. My industry is a little more tricky. What could I do? Well, that's where the strategy side of a company like Meteora, an agency partner, a marketing agency partner, comes into play. We sit down with your team, we go over everything you have available to you, and we put our heads together and come up with ideas. Sometimes I've found that clients are very creative on their own and they come up with great ideas. They may not need our help. If that's you, awesome. Good for you. I'm really happy for you, and that's genuine. If sometimes you're like the other clients and you're too close to it, or maybe you're just not that creative, and that's okay. You might be an expert at your craft or your industry, but the marketing side of it's never really been your strong set. That's where a company like Meteora can sit down with you, go through all of the things, do a consulting package where we can figure out how you adapt to the current situation, how to generate revenue for you in the short term, but also how to make sure that you're on the top of the list for the long term. A lot of companies need to think right now about this creative pivot. You don't want to be the dullard that's doing nothing, the do nothing dullard, as we call them. If you're that person, the situation you're in is compounded by the fact that you're not adapting to it. You don't want to be a do nothing dullard. You want to have a creative pivot, and you want to make something happen now for the better, even if it's a stopgap. So if you haven't come up with that idea, give us a call, send us an email through our website, contact us on Facebook or LinkedIn or any of the other social platforms. We're pretty much on all of them. And we'll be happy to set up a consultation right away and go through some things that you can do to start implementing and changing things for the better. Oh, and you'd be surprised at how many things we can come up with a short consultation. The ideas are going to be free flowing. You're going to be excited. You're going to be rejuvenated and pumped about your business again, and stop worrying about what you might lose and start thinking about what you can gain. So, like I always say, stay positive, stay healthy. We're going to get through this together. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon.